Time for a lesson in the old Streisand effect, if you know what I mean. If you don't, you can Google what Streisand effect is, but I saw the Woke Preacher Clips guy share this video earlier, and I didn't want to watch it because I didn't recognize the lady, and I also didn't recognize who Eshan Burgundy was. I'd never heard that name before. I don't know, I guess maybe I'm just a little bit too much of a boomer to know what all the kids are talking about these days. I don't know. But then I saw that YouTube had taken down his video because I guess this woman complained about it. So I figured, let's draw a little bit of attention to this. I have not watched the video yet, so I don't know how good it is, but it seems like it might be juicy. And of course, because this will be strictly within the confines of fair use, there probably will be no takedown of this video coming, as we will see. But first, I wanted to just look up who this guy was. So I went to Wikipedia, which is what any self-respecting citizen will do, and I looked up Eshan Burgundy, and Eshan Burgundy apparently is a rapper. He's a rapper from Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, you know what I mean? Born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. That's what I know about hip-hop, you know? It's just, you know, but anyway. So, yeah, he's a rapper. He's associated with Andy Mineo. I do recognize that name. And then Jay Givens, never heard of him. Jeremiah Bligan, never heard of him. I don't know, but he's a Christian hip-hop artist. And sadly, most Christian hip-hop artists are totally woke. Most of them have completely adopted the false gospel of social justice, and that's a very sad thing. So let's see what Eshan Burgundy's wife has to say about Christianity.
People automatically assume that when you say you're not a Christian, that it means you don't believe in the Messiah and you don't study the Bible. And that is incredibly false. Some things are just for you, and then some things are for you to share. Right now.
So I guess she's not a Christian. That's sad. That's a very sad thing. It must be very difficult for Eshan, who I guess is a Christian, or I don't know, maybe he's not anymore. But I guess he at least at one point used to be a Christian. Maybe he still is. And if his wife is not a Christian and he is a Christian, that is a very difficult thing. So obviously we'll be praying for them. And let's continue to see. Maybe this woman explains why she is not a Christian. Let's find out.
Now with Zara Hairston. Life update.
Hey, y'all.
I was flipping my coin and it hit the microphone. That was bad. Not good at all. Not good at all. Sorry about that.
Been waiting for almost 3 months for me to make this video. And so I was like, let me just shoot this even though I have a lot going on. And there's been incredible distractions trying to get me to not do this video. It's so
I'm
much
like Two-Face over here. I'm like flipping my coin to see, should I be mean or should I be jolly? Just kidding. I actually did chip this coin too. This is a silver coin, and I chipped it. Oh well.
Information. So let me just say before I get started that I have a passion and a heart to worship Yah in spirit and in truth. Yah is clear in scripture about worshiping him in spirit and in truth.
But the hour comes, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in Ruach and in truth. For the Father seeks such to worship him. Yahuwah is that Ruach, and they that worship him must worship him in Ruach and in truth. Yahushanan, which is Hebrew for John, as you see there, chapter 4, verse 23 and 24. And most of the verses are going to be from the Ed Sefer version.
Okay, so I guess she's a Hebrew roots cultist. Is that what's going on here? Yeah, Yahushanan instead of John, and Yah instead of Jesus, I guess. That was a hard video to follow. I'm not really sure why she felt like taking that down. I mean, most people aren't even gonna understand what the heck she's talking about, right? Like, I don't even, like, I mean, I can understand some of it, I guess, because I have watched many videos on these Hebrew roots type people. These Hebrew roots folks are definitely cultists. They're not believers in any way. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like, so, okay, I mean, that's great and all, but I don't know. I just don't really understand why that needed to come down. I don't really get that. Most people wouldn't have a clue what she's talking about. I don't even really have that much of an idea what she's talking about. Obviously, she used a very weird version of the Bible to replace, the word. And she speaks English, too. That's the weird part. Like you're an English-speaking person, but you feel the need to, change the words of English to another language because I guess, I don't know, English and Greek transliterations into English are pagan for some reason. I don't know. I have no idea. I used to have a teacher from Howard University who used to say that if you use English, then you're enslaved because that's the enslaver's language. And, okay. I don't care. I mean, it's just... Anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was kind of anticlimactic. Maybe I should have watched that one before I went into it. But I did want to say this too. I had a couple people on my video about gold and Bitcoin kind of push back on me a little bit. One of them said that I needed to research Bitcoin more to learn why it would replace gold. And it's not really a matter of research for me anymore. I mean, obviously I'm not a coder. I can't read the code myself. I can't do that kind of thing. But I do understand what's happening with Bitcoin, and I don't think that Bitcoin is terrible. I do own some Bitcoin. Actually, yesterday I sold all my Bitcoin and I bought some Ether instead. But anyway, so I do own some crypto, but what I'm saying is I like gold and I like precious metals more than I like crypto. So how I allocate my assets is going to reflect that, and I like other things more than gold. So it's like, so that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You can own Ether, Bitcoin, and you can own precious metals. In fact, a lot of people would say that you should probably own both. There's a place for both of those things. For me, crypto is kind of more like an insurance policy more than anything else, just sort of like a just in case type deal. I don't think that there's any realistic future for especially Bitcoin as actually being a way that you pay for items and stuff like that. I've paid for items with Bitcoin before, but to me it was more of like a novelty kind of thing, just as like a, just as like proving a point kind of thing. I gave Gab some Bitcoin for my account. So, I don't hate crypto. I own some crypto. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying that I like gold and silver more than crypto and all of that. And I own dollars too. Obviously, I get paid in dollars. I pay my taxes in dollars because you have to. And so obviously I have cash as well. And I understand that cash in the long term is a very poor store of value. And so I have to allocate my cash in a certain amount. I have to have certain other kinds of assets and other kinds of things. And you just got to consider that. You got to consider what you actually believe about the way the world is, and that'll affect how you allocate. So it's not really a matter of getting more information. It's a matter of my fundamental beliefs, right? And I just don't believe, like I have no reason to think that gold won't be valuable in the future. You know what I mean? Like gold has been valuable for thousands of years. I even quoted a Bible verse that shows that God seems to have put the value into gold from the beginning. Like the very first verses in the Bible, he calls out gold as a valuable, element, as a valuable thing in his world. And then he uses gold as a metaphor for many, many good things. So it's like I have no reason to believe that the value of gold won't be there in the future as well. Whereas with Bitcoin, I'm not as sure about that. I think that cryptocurrency is very interesting, and I like the freedom aspect of it, and I like sort of the contrarian nature as far as when you're comparing it to the Fed and what they do. I like all that stuff. I think that there's something there. But with gold, I feel a lot more confident just because of the historical, the history of gold, plus also the biblical witness on gold and all of that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not anti-crypto, so don't get all mad at me. I do own some crypto. I used to own Bitcoin yesterday, but then I bought some Ether instead. Anyway, so there's that. And then there was one person that responded that said that gold's not going to save you, AD. I know. I mean, that's right. Gold isn't going to save me. Just like food isn't going to save me, but I'm still buying food. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like you can trust in gold, but what I am saying is that every person has to decide what they think the future is going to be like, and they've got to come up with ways to protect themselves, to protect their assets, to protect their family's inheritance, and there's going to be different ways to do that. In the end, none of it can save you, but that doesn't mean you don't do wise things with what you have, right? You have to be good stewards with what God has given you, right? And my thing is to pin your hopes only to cash is probably a very poor decision when you're considering wisdom, because the Federal Reserve is telegraphing what they're going to do. They're going to devalue the value of a dollar as much as they possibly can until it crashes. That's what they're going to do. And so we understand that. So you need to purchase assets that will protect you from that. Gold is a version of that, but there's other ways to do it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to save you. Nobody's saying you put your trust in gold. Obviously not. Just because gold is valuable and God put that in our minds, that's what I'm saying, that it would be valuable, doesn't mean it's going to save you in the end. In the end, you can't eat gold. In the end, you can't, put gold on as well. I guess you could put gold on, but it's not going to keep you warm, that kind of thing. And even if it could, none of those things will save you either. Only Christ is our salvation. Obviously, we get that. That's not what I was saying. I think most of you understood that, but maybe some of you didn't, and so I just figured I'd clarify and all of that. I hope you found this video helpful. God bless.